All right. Have you ever walked into a holiday gathering, whether it be family, friends, or one of those lovely Christmas parties that everyone pretends to be comfortable in and thought, okay, this time it's going to be perfect?
Then 5 minutes later, you realize, nope, this is just real life happening. Yeah, so let's talk about that today.
And now your host, Jen O'Brien and Matt Emerson.
Welcome, everybody, to the Wandering But Not Lost podcast, your guide to movement, mindfulness, and finding clarity in the everyday moments that make life meaningful. I'm Jen O'Brien.
And I'm Matt Emerson. Today we are diving into a topic that feels especially needed this time of year, the pressure we put on ourselves to create the perfect holiday experience. December is basically a lineup of gatherings, family dinners, friend gift exchanges, neighborhood events, school concerts, and the final boss, the office party. Each one comes with its own very, very detailed explanations in your head, probably.
Isn't that the truth? So family gatherings, they may carry history and tradition. Friends want connection and energy. You know, it's just that time of the year where we're just expected that we're going to have this, gatherings. Office parties, well, those require emotional stamina.
They do.
A lot of times for many of us, and maybe a pep talk before you walk through the door. And somewhere in all of it, we keep thinking each moment should feel magical.
Yeah, we stack those expectations like ornaments on a tree until the whole tree starts to lean.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this really happens for me. We all build these little holiday movies in our minds. That's a great way to describe what it is, like the perfect picture of what it's going to be like, the conversations, the ambiance, the photos, right? Like maybe pulling together scenes from previous times that you had it as a younger person or whatever, all the good stuff.
Yeah. And then what happens, and you all know this, I know you're already starting to feel this when we're talking about it, reality shows up, burnt appetizers, or in the case of my mother-in-law, the rolls.
Okay, I'm sure the story there.
Weird silences, someone arguing about parking or worse, politics, or that one coworker who just had enough champagne to start oversharing. Well, life is beautifully imperfect, and we need to remember that. And that's actually where all the magic really is hiding.
And here's the gentle truth. Perfection is a holiday myth. Presence is the real gift. Right. If we can get off of the things of how it should be, let go of those expectations of perfection, maybe we can really finally experience how things actually are and recognize, be in the present moment. That's where you can find a little bit of peace in these deals.
That's right, because presence lets you enjoy the messy, the funny, the unexpected, and the deeply human moments actually that make the season real.
And this is what the holidays are actually made of, tiny sparks of joy, not the big stage moments, but the unplanned ones. I just experienced that on my trip home when we had people gathering from all over for kind of a once a year gathering because we're not going to do it for other holidays. And it was about finding, and I'm telling you, Matt, for me, it was the little moments, the taking the walk outside, the laughing at, in our family, laughing, we'll get silly, somebody will start telling a joke. And it was that really good family laughter. And I was going outside. The weather was cooler. I was in Georgia and just enjoying. It started to rain after Thanksgiving, but it was these things, little warm one-on-one conversations that can surprise you. Someone saying, I'm so glad that you came. It could just be these little tiny moments. My sister has 2 dogs, and the dogs just want to come out and sit in your lap. And one of them is they're 2 golden retrievers, and one of them was just is a leaner. You know what I mean by a dog that's a leaner?
Yeah.
But it was really special, So all of that it's these little things. And for you, if you're hearing us right now, I bet you can think of what are some of the things that if you let go of the expectation of what it was supposed to look like,
Yeah.
Where were those moments of joy, or where will they be moving into the next set of holidays?
So interesting. Jan Brand, let me set aside, tell a story here too. Jan and I worked together for a while at a company, and not just Christmas parties, just office parties in general used to always tend to get very out of control. Yeah. There was one office party in particular that everyone was at a hotel. It was in Las Vegas, actually, and Jan and I were I don't know. We weren't certainly designated not drinkers that night, but we were the not drinkers that night. And there was a lot of drama that went on that evening. And I mean, we could write a whole book on it. There was so much drama that night. But I'm going to tell you, talk about small moments of joy. Jan and I actually found a little bit of humor, and I don't know, we really bonded that night because we would call each other out. It's almost like we were spies. It's like, okay, I've got my eyes on blah, blah, blah. I got my eyes on, well.
Okay, I just averted a meltdown by, having this person go here, exactly.
Let's keep these people apart. Walk the other way. It was just, so that wasn't not, I mean, overall, that was a pretty bad night, but we actually find some pretty good joy in that. And when I think about office parties, it's really funny. I think of that particular office party now. I've been to a lot of office parties in my day, and a lot of them great, a lot of them not so great. But that one stands out just because it was a little bit like we were covert operatives, making sure that everything was okay.
We were the designated moderators and facilitators.
Yeah, definitely.
And joy.
Anyway.
So here are a few simple ways to stay present through the holiday noise and potential chaos. Number one, set a gentle intention before each gathering. I'm going to notice one small joy, just one. Just think about how cool that is.
Good one.
Go in and look for, I do this all the time. Like I'm going to go to an event, or I'm going to meet somebody, have a great conversation. So at this party, at the office, I'm going to have a great conversation with somebody I haven't had. Or if it's with the family, I'm going to notice one small joy, and I guarantee you're going to find more of them when you focus on that instead of setting the everything has to be perfect scenario. Yep. Another one, number two, allow the moment to unfold naturally. Don't drop the script, okay? Just let it all be in the moment. Another one here, number three, step outside. Okay, this is what we talk about all the time. I did this a lot. I do this a lot. Step outside just for a 60. It's amazing. You can break any tension that you maybe are having or reaction. You can just flip it by stepping outside and just taking a quick walk or just breathing. Okay, a little nature reset. It's amazing how that can just get you back on track, and then you're out of it and you're back and you could just reset yourself. Micro movements, right? Just get stretching, a shoulder roll, do something to get yourself out of that space if you're feeling any anxiety or stress, and you'll wake up your nervous system. And, again, if you need some help with ideas on that, go look at our YouTube channel for the shorts. You'll see tons of stuff in there about simple ways just to have a moment to reset yourself. And then finally, give yourself permission to leave when your energy says, I'm good. No guilt, no explanation required. Even if you're staying at somebody's home or whatever, you can find a way to just say, I'm going to call it a night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's so wild. Yeah, these micro practices really are super powerful, and really they're very, very easy. You just have to remember to do it because it does make a quick difference, right? They help you stay aligned, regulated, and grounded so the season feels meaningful and not overwhelming.
Now, we don't want to make it sound like that every time anybody has a holiday gathering, there's always drama, okay? Or there's always something to be stressed about. What we're trying to say today in our episode is that we're trying to point out that we all have a tendency, and it doesn't have to be just around the holidays, especially if you're not always seeing people, around family and so forth. You might have an expectation of it being a certain way. If you don't see the same people all the time, maybe not so much for a work party, but for family, if you're apart and you come together at the holidays, we do have a tendency to set an expectation of what it's going to look like as we set up in the beginning. So if you take anything from today, from our episode today, just let it be this. You don't need a perfect holiday. You just need a few small moments of presence, joy, things that you'll have that'll be those positive memories that you'll always have for whatever that all is. And just being with your loved ones is enough, right? And it'll carry you way further than perfection ever will. I think our many people's obsession with perfection, and it may not be perfection, but I think it makes sense, right, Matt, that I keep experiencing this myself. I have an idea of what it's going to be like based on a conglomeration of memories of what a perfect holiday would be. And that's just not real world. But there are tons of opportunities and moments of joy and all of that if you just let it go, relax, and let it all unfold and see the joy in the small things that happen, because they're there.
And I think also, we're talking about this kind of as the party goer, but if you are the party planner or you're the host of a party,
oh my gosh, which could cause more stress.
Way more stress. But because I do that, I do that. I love to have people around. I like to plan things, and I like it, and I do want it to be perfect. So I do. A lot of times, I say this all the time. I even say this with trips I go on. A lot of times, the best part of that whole experience is planning, right? Putting that expectation in your mind, but you have to make sure that whenever it's go time, that you're like, you know what, everyone's here and everyone's going to have a good time. Don't be one of the reasons why they're not.
But Matt, even in your example of all the planning you guys do, like when you do your big summer vacations, and everything may not go according to plan. And the difference is that going to ruin your trip, your summer vacation, or are you going to go with the flow and enjoy the moments? And it's the same idea. So it's letting go of this human idea of everything has to be just so. And I love it, because there's a lot of pressure on the person hosting and making sure everybody's happy and they want it to go well. And it's so funny. You think about how, just like Thanksgiving dinner, how much work goes into the person that's hosting. People could bring things, but there's planning before, there's going out and taking care of everybody's needs and making sure you're covering what everybody wants. And then it's all the prep work. And then then it's all the getting everything out, for the table. And then it's over like in 30 minutes.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. And a lot of times, there's like the table settings and the place cards, and you want the lighting to be right, and there has to be blah, blah, blah. Yeah. There's all this kind of stuff. And I hate to tell hosts break this to the hosts. Most people will experience that kind of just in, around them, in the peripheral, but they're probably not, like, oh my God, that was the best lighting I've ever seen at a party. You know what I mean?
And let
that go. Do it because you enjoy doing it, but don't do it because you think that if it doesn't work out right.
You just nailed it, and that becomes the expectation of these things I'm doing. I hope everybody appreciates it. If they don't, I'll feel disappointed. And here's the deal. It was like I had an amazing Thanksgiving with my family I haven't seen. And it was because of all the efforts of, and all, I just showed up. I helped do a little prep and get things out to the table and do what I can, but I wasn't the one. I don't know when's the last time I've hosted. I'm always the one that's away. Yeah. And I do remember in the past hosting them, and there's a lot of pressure there. So anyway, you get the idea here, guys. We're just coming out of Thanksgiving as we record this, but here we go. And this is what happens near the end of the year. We're now going into the next set of things, which is generally going to have work-related parties and one event after another. And a lot of people end up being stressed over the holidays as opposed to enjoying the moment. And that's what we want to talk about today.
That is exactly right. Because the holidays are something that you actually, or that you aren't something that you perform in and around. There's something you actually experience. Mm-hmm. That's what you need to do. Just take a breath and take it all in. Let them be real. Let them be human. Let them be enough. That's huge, I think. Well, thank you for wandering with us today. You can find all of our show notes over at wbnlpodcast.com. This is an episode 394. Yeah, 394. And I want you to go over and experience the new Wandering But Not Lost website. We got a new look, a new feel, and a lot of new features over there. You to explore, elevate, and expand over at wanderingbutnotlost.com. Go check it out, including our new sound sanctuary that actually
totally into the whole sound frequency stuff, which really can help you in helping you with a lot of this movement and your mindset and so forth. We've been covering a lot on that and experiencing it and learning more and sharing it with you. So take care of yourself this season, all of you listening. Slow down, notice the small joys, appreciate them, and remember,
happy holidays, have a good one, wander with intention, and align with clarity. We'll see you next time. Perfect holiday experiences. Let me start over. I don't know where I was going there. That's crazy. And I'm Matt Emerson.